broke his nose, but Kevin Benavides is still the new leader in the bikes.
I banged my head into the GPS of the bike. I broke my helmet, the GPS, and also my nose a little bit. I kept going. I thought I'd lose a bit of time, but in the end it was a good stage.
In the heart of the dunes, this is the big story of Dakar 2021. Giants of the rally fighting it out side by side. Petter Hansel and Alatia.
Day 5 on the Dakar would be a long one, a very long one indeed.
We still have competitors on the tracks, are slowly finishing, but it rained as well on the finish, and it's raining on tomorrow's special. We therefore took the decision to shorten the stage tomorrow and push back the start times by an hour and a half.
Some 220 kilometres away in the dark, riders were finishing a nightmare of a day. 16 competitors were told to sleep here, very far from the bivouac.
Super special, super day with magnificent dunes. It was great, but because I don't go fast enough, it gets trickier to get to the finish. The good thing is that I was riding with a Spaniard. It was going well until the sunset, and when the sun sets, it's horrible, horrible.
Well, after a good night's sleep at the new Keba bivouac for latecomers, it was time to get up and prepare for another stage, the 6th of this Dakar. Well, meanwhile, in the early hours of this morning, some were still struggling in the dunes of the previous stage, hoping to keep their Dakar dream alive.
We reached the dune after nightfall, so we stayed to sleep by the bikes, and it was very cold. So we almost didn't sleep, and now we see that there are still kilometers and kilometers of dunes.
Game over for young Sarah Juggler. A total of 12 vehicles had to retire, 6 bikes, 4 lightweight vehicles and 2 trucks. So the bikers with 100 fewer kilometres to cover today, a total of 348, and it was 100% sand. They were set for a fun day in the saddle just ahead of the rest day, dunes as far as the eye can see. Well, there was a slightly later start than usual, so a chance for a catch-up before the first bikers set off at 9:35 a.m. The new overall leader, Kevin Benavides, set to open ahead of his teammate Nacho Cornejo, the Argentine feeling okay after bashing his nose on his GPS yesterday. Daniel Sanders is dominating the rookies class this year, around an hour and a half clear of his nearest challenger. The Aussie pushed a bit today to try to make up some time, having come 15th yesterday. The KTM factory man was third on the stage and rounding out a superb first week on the Dakar.
The terrain is so awesome. It changes every day from rocks to sand, and it's really nice to ride. So you get a good variety of everything, and it shows the best rider in the end of the day.
Ricky Brabeck was also forced to put the hammer down and spent a good part of the day with Pablo Quintanilla. The defending champion said this was his best outing so far and that he's feeling really good, especially in terms of his nutrition. Just flying over the wet dunes, but he ends the first week some 20 minutes off the pace. Brabeck's Honda teammate Joan Barreda took the stage victory. It's already his third of this Dakar and the 27th overall as he closes in on the all-time record in the bikes, which is held by Stefan Petter Hansel and Cyril Desprez. Bang Bang is now 7th overall, 6.5 minutes down, and he is very satisfied with his efforts throughout this first week. In the end, I'm happy, feeling good, haven't had any crashes. I'm feeling strong for next week.
Pero al final le he estado contento, estoy fuerte, no tengo ninguna caída, sin ningún problema de ningún tipo.
I'm feeling strong for next week.
Estoy preparado la próxima semana.
100%
Now, Xavier de Sultre has been one of the standout performers of this Dakar so far. He rode smart today, explaining that he didn't want to push like a madman. He's also keen to preserve his tyres for the business end of the rally. Well, the Frenchman is clearly having a ball in his 8th participation, and at the halfway stage, he's running 5th overall. De Sultre just hoping that he can keep up these performances in the second week. Another man upsetting the bookies is Ross Branch, who's locked on exactly the same time overall as de Sultre. The Kalahari Ferrari had a great day cruising over the dunes with Matthias Wagner, and he missed out on the stage win by just 13 seconds, though that may prove to be no bad thing in the marathon stages that follow the rest day. Back to Cornejo and Kevin Benavides, who did a sensational job up at the front, leading for the entire day. 4th last year, Cornejo's been steadily improving after a slow start. He finds himself 3rd overall within 3 minutes of the leader. Benavides explained that his ankle was actually bothering him more than his nose after yesterday's crash, but he didn't lose much time today and sits 2nd overall. He is understandably happy to be heading into the rest day. Toby Price was full of praise for Cornejo and Benavides, who set what he termed a crazy pace up front. But the Australian was equal to it, and he recovered the overall lead in spite of one minor crash. The 2016 and 2019 winners had a topsy-turvy week, but he ends it top of the pile.
It's been a mixed bag of everything, really, so it's been up and down everywhere, but yeah, look, all in all, we're still in the fight, we're still there in the race, so anything can happen. There's a long way to go, and yeah, we're looking forward to week 2 already.
Yet another stage win for Bereda, tipping Branch by 13 seconds. Sanders, Breivik and Wagner make up the top 5 on the day. The rally is far from over, with only a few minutes separating the front runners. Price in the lead by 2 minutes 16 from Benavides. Alexandre Giroux picked up his 3rd win of the rally in the quads, including the prologue. The Frenchman remains in 3rd place overall. Nicolas Cavigliasso extending his overall lead to 33 minutes over Manuel Andujar as he goes in search of a 2nd Dakar victory.
I used to be freestyle motocross world champion, and now I'm a rally rider. They say this is the hardest race on the planet on motorcycles, so I say I want to try it in my life, so I know if it's true or not. It was like 1998, 99. I met the freestyle for the first time, and I see like that free spirit, and you know, they were like a rock stars, so I started to practice hard, and a couple of years later I became world champion.
In 2019, Podmol had decided to go for the Dakar, but in his final season in freestyle, a crash changed his destiny. The Czech broke both his legs and was off his bike for the next year.
I was also a little bit thinking about the Dakar, and if you want to do it one thing very well, you shouldn't be thinking about something else. So, but I believe everything happens for a reason, and I have a good story to tell now.
A rough setback, but Podmol is finally on the Dakar.
In freestyle, the run was 2 minutes, you know, and just click your freestyle brain, and you just don't think about anything else, and you just ride it. But in rally, this is for like 3-4 hours, because you have to do like this whole special stage. So it's a longer rush, and I like it.
And that's not the only reason he's on the Dakar.
When I was 10 years old, I remember my father was going for Dakar. It was 1994. He didn't finish it, and then he passed away 4 years later after he started in Dakar. So I say I'm gonna finish his job and finish this early Dakar. Maybe I'm not gonna be the fastest guy, but maybe I'm gonna be the one who they can look for and have fun to watch me ride. But I'm also trying to be just a happy man. Definitely I wanna bring my name, our name, Podmol, into the finish line with the pride.
Mathieu Serradori spent hours in the desert last night after he broke a wheel that took a shock absorber with it. He waited for the race truck to arrive with the parts, but his 6th overall slipped away. At the start of the stage, there was time to catch up and also have a little bit of banter too.
We can make a deal today?
No, I don't trust you for the deal.
We come to bivouac, 0. And we start second week, you know.
Like if the start of the race.
Yes. We need to enjoy because we are lucky to be here in Saudi Arabia for Dakar. We are lucky to do this sport because we love this sport, you know. For me, is the best.
The first Dakar I won was 30 years ago, so I have to admit I'm a lucky man. A privileged man in these complicated times, and you have to appreciate it through every single kilometre. After a reliable run with the ProDrive car to date, Stage 6 saw the luck turn with the Brit-based team as a broken suspension arm at 97 kilometres in put paid to Sebastian Loeb's run. He awaits a replacement. We broke the rear suspension. We don't have a spare one, so we have to wait for the truck. It happened on a portion with quite a few bumps. That's the way it is when you push hard, but the race is over now.
C'est comme ça, quand on attaque, la course est finie maintenant.
Ultra fast is not the way of the Dakar, but that is precisely how Nani Roma has got ProDrive into a fantastic 5th overall on their first ever rally raid. He's in high heel and he's happy. Isidre Esteve used to be a Works KTM rider, an accident leaving him in a wheelchair, but this is his 5th Dakar on 4 wheels and it's in a new Toyota. He's kept all his favourite mechanics and he's got a great team. Yesterday's winner, Janil de Villiers, was still struggling with a stiff neck, so every hard landing hurt. He found the broken dunes really tricky, but even after a couple of punctures, he came home in 8th. Fellow South African Brian Baragwana was ranked 39th as the event got underway a week ago, but they've thrashed through, he and Tay Perry, brilliantly to be into 6th. At the halfway point of Dakar 2021, we're seeing a truly golden era of Dakar history unfolding in front of us. Every driver's got their own point to prove, and Stefan Pederhansel is one of them. He lost just 17 seconds today, and he still holds the overall lead. Nasser Al-Attiyah knows he has to keep the pressure on, and he's doing just that with throttle traces regularly at 100% on the data. The Qatari pit Pederhansel by a whisker for 3rd today, but there's nothing in it. He may be 5 hours back after earlier problems, but Yazid Al-Raji planned to go flat out from the start, and he did just that, with 2nd today in the Overdrive Toyota. Carlos Sainz bolted out of the blocks this morning, determined and single-minded to make amends for the frustrations of the last few days. He was quickest at every single waypoint from start to finish as he appeased his anger. He didn't find it difficult, so was happy to just drive fast. With 2 World Rally Championships under his belt, it was far more his style. Today, basically, we didn't have any problems at all. The stage was pretty simple without any crossing tracks. A lot of sand and dunes, we had good pace, and I'm happy at last to manage a clean stage. Sainz taking the victory by 4 minutes ahead of Al-Raji, Al-Attiyah in 3rd, just a whisker ahead of Pederhansel. And overall at the halfway point, Pederhansel's lead is just under 6 minutes ahead of Al-Attiyah. The fight is on. Sainz, Przgonski and Roma. With a 10-minute lead coming into the stage, Chaleco Lopez was beginning to ease ahead. But 233 kilometres in today, his luck went the other way as the Chilean had a mechanical failure. He lost over an hour and he lost the lead. second last year, Sergej Karyakin has been stealthily creeping his black T4 car into 6th overall. Never underestimate how a matte black car can intimidate rivals. Mikhail Goxal is in his first Dakar, so to be up to 6th at the halfway point is a massive break for the pole. His smiles will light up the bivouac tonight. As his older brother battles for the outright lead in the T1 class, Khalifa Alatir is not a threat for overall honours in lightweight, but he's got speed on the stages. He was second today, just 23 seconds off the winner after 4 hours of rallying. Seth Quintero for Red Bull OT3 came on the Dakar last year for the ultimate recce. He couldn't drive because he wasn't old enough. But now, at just 18 years and 118 days old, he's repaid the faith with a stunning win to be the youngest ever Dakar stage winner, and he's now 3rd overall. Hero of Czech motorsport, Thomas Eng has driven everything in motorsport, including F1 and winning his class at Le Mans. But there was always one thing he wanted to do, the Dakar. He's got to the halfway point, and he is more than happy. So, with Chaleco in trouble, it now means Aaron Domzala leads the lightweight class on the Dakar with his Monster Energy Can-Am. He was always a hot favourite, and he hits the front at exactly the right time. Domzala ahead of Jones by 40 seconds, Quintero 3rd, 8.5 minutes back from Chaleco Lopez. And in the SSVs, it's Domzala from Jones, Chaleco Lopez, Karyakin, and then Goxal.
The Dakar Classic continues, and always with that atmosphere of the good old days. She has to make it.
La Titine.
52 years old. Almost as old as us. Stages go by, and Frenchman Marc Douton in his Sunhill buggy still leads the way in this regularity rally, where the less penalty points you have, the better, and all that is based on your average speed. Belgian Benoit Calouart is indeed taking good care of his Volkswagen Baja. He was 14th after 5 stages. But what a struggle it's been for Italians Caporese and Fiori. More issues for their vintage Peugeot 504 pickup. While the sweetheart of the rally, the Porsche 911, is as impressive as the one that won the Dakar in 1984. But the spirit of the Dakar remains for the 21 cars and 3 trucks still battling it out in the Dakar Classic.